Hey, do you lose track of your own desires in the presence of people you love? How do you separate your own desires from those of your family, friends, and loved ones? This can be hard. By the end of this video, you're going to know how to tune out that noise. 4 steps. The first thing you want to do is start the practice of meditation. I talk about this all the time. The studies that they have done on this practice and how it improves your emotional and mental state are profound. I know we hear about stuff like this all the time, but if you want yourself to be able to get to a place where you can stand on your own and step through the noise and chaos of all of the need and expectation that surrounds you, meditation is a great method of doing this. I would recommend you get started right away. Find an app. There's all kinds of apps. Download one. Do the practice daily. It will return in dividends. With meditation, you begin to understand the workings of your inner self. You begin to be intimately aware of what makes you tick. And that's essential. That's essential when you want to know how to act for yourself and not on behalf of others. This is going to be a hard thing to do, right? We grow up in families that love us. They teach us things. They have expectations that are placed upon us because we have parents who see a world in a certain way and they're trying to guide us through life and do the best they can. And you may feel an obligation to do things that maybe you don't believe because you feel loyalty to those that love you and those that surround you. Meditation will help you ferret out what it is you feel and believe is most important versus what it is you recognize others feel for you. For some people, like me, I'm a people pleaser a little bit. It's very hard for me to understand where that line is drawn unless I'm deeply in touch with what's going on. The second thing that you want to do is practice identifying your emotions. This was a very interesting thing for me when I started. I remember I would ask myself, how are you feeling? And I was told I couldn't use things like, okay, I'm good, and like just simple like descriptors were no longer enough. I had to get into it, and I tried to be as nuanced and as clear as possible. I could say, you know what? I'm feeling a little bit anxious right now. I've got some like trepidation in my heart, but at the same time, I'm excited. That, as I practice, was the place I got to. When I first started, I honestly couldn't even identify my emotions. I didn't know what they were. I was very unclear. I had not delved into it. I had not really built that muscle. Take some time. Practice daily, identifying what are the emotions that I feel. Where are they residing in my body? Feel them. Is it in the pit of my stomach? It is in my throat or my chest? Is it in my shoulders? Where am I feeling this stuff? And what is that emotion? What is the word that describes it the best? Learning to do that gives you the power to then approach what it is you're feeling and handle it. Whether that means changing what you need to do to get to another space or embracing what you're feeling and moving through or joining it and using it to escalate you. These are things that are tricky to do. And, honestly, for me, I struggled with this for much of my life. And I suspect that I still do. I know that I do in some ways, but I've gotten much better using these practices. And it is honestly the thing that allowed me to find the courage to stand up for what I truly believed. I grew up in a little town in Canada, and I was a Mormon boy in a town that really were almost no Mormons. There were a few of us, right? But in general, the people in my town in Canada didn't know what a Mormon was. And I grew up with parents who were very devout in their belief, and they taught us really well, and they taught us these principles, and I saw a lot of value in them. They're principles of loving your family and believing in a higher power that loves you and wants the best for you, and knowing that no matter what happened, God would take care of me. These are things that I think are important concepts, whether you believe in God or not, that there's something out there sustaining you and supporting you. So that was stuff that I learned, that I loved, and There were some things that I didn't love, but it was hard for me to separate the two. And when I finally got to a place where I wanted to leave, it was more than 20 years ago. It was in the year 2000. I really tried to leave my religious belief. But when confronted with all of the people around me that were still a part of this system, I couldn't stand the pressure. I couldn't stand on my own and say, yeah, no, I don't believe in what you believe, because I didn't feel I had the right to do that. I didn't actually fully understand the depth of my own feelings, because I had never really addressed them or identified them or explored that side of myself. So I was just kind of discombobulated, going with the flow, doing whatever everyone around me needed to be done to make them feel at ease and happy, while diminishing my own sense of happiness. And that became a problem. So once you recognize that, you must decide what it is that you want to do in your life and determine what your dream is. If you can do that, determine what your dream is, that will spark within your heart what it is you truly believe. And you will begin to see the difference if you've gone through these steps between what others want for you and what you want for yourself. And you'll see where they don't match. And that becomes a powerful thing. I remember I served a mission for my church in Japan. And when I was there, I was teaching a Buddhist monk. It was awesome. He was a great guy. He was curious. He asked good questions. He seemed really, really engaged in what I was telling him about my belief system that I was teaching. And I would ask him, I'd say, well, do you want to join our church then? And he'd laugh and he'd say, no. This is your path. It's a good path for you. I have my own. And when he said it, there was no demeaning in what he was saying to me. There was no judgment in what I believed. He truly saw what I was following and expressing to him. He saw the value in it, and he saw the value for me in it. But he was also able to tell me without any guile or any, sort of confusion, any sort of negative feeling toward me, yeah, it's not for me, not my path, right? And I admired that. I remember it stuck with me for a long time because it was not something I was capable of. But this man had a dream. He knew what he wanted to be. He knew where he wanted to be. He was pursuing it with his full heart, and it was fulfilling him. And so when offered to follow my path, he could look at it and say, oh, it's a beautiful path. I like that. But I see this one taking me where I want to go. And I wanted to be like that in so many ways. I strived for years, right? And I got to a point through all the work that I had done that I began to identify my emotions. I was meditating every day. I could see what was happening inside me. And I began to really, really draw a divide between the expectations of the loved ones around me that they put upon me and the expectations of what I had for myself and what I wanted to be and how I wanted to be and who I wanted to associate with, and that those two were not in alignment. And the reason they weren't in alignment was because I was still participating in a church that was representing values that I shared in a way that I didn't agree with. Not that it was bad. It was a good path for them. It was not a path for me. And as I began to understand that, I was able to step away without anger, without frustration, without condemning those that followed, that I loved, my family, were following, and sit like that Buddhist monk and think, what a wonderful path for you. I can see that you're happy. This is serving you well. Keep going. And I have my own path. And wow, that's a freeing thing, right? And then you can move to the fourth step. And you can love yourself more than your need for acceptance, because you're going to need to, right? That desire to be embraced and loved by those that you're going to stand up to and say, hey, you know what? Our belief systems are not necessarily the same. I respect what you have, but I know what I want, and that's not my path. Ooh, that's a powerful thing. And you only get there when you let go of your need to be accepted and loved. And this is the better thing, though. When you do that, when you let it go, and when you love yourself, and when you chase with a full heart and a desire after the thing that you really, really want, the people that you love will love you more because they see what you're doing. They will recognize the truth in what you do, and that way you act will impress upon them the fact that your path is a good path. So let it go. Let all of it wash away and embrace these 4 principles along the way so that you can become the person that you dream of and be the person that is not relying on others for acceptance to find your belief. In your case, when you're sitting here listening, is there something that resonates here with you? Have you struggled with building your own space of belief and pursuit and drive while dealing with the need of those that you love around you? I suspect some of you have, and I wonder what you've done to overcome that, or if you're still in it, what are you facing? Let me know in the comments below. And stick around, because I got another video coming up, how to feel worthy of love and what ended my marriage. These are things that really were very similar along the lines of this, and maybe you're struggling with, and I hope you like them. Like, subscribe, leave some comments, and thanks for hanging out with me.